Hello, my name is Jose. My soapbox will be about participating in local government. To begin, a vote in local government carries so much immense power. Our local vote makes decisions we live with on a daily basis. So just one vote can determine the outcome of a local election. That vote can very much be yours. Being involved in our community elections leads to being able to make decisions in our everyday lives, and they are the starting place for making bigger changes. I advocate for this topic as it relates to all of us within the university and as a community. We are the constituents that can make the real change happen. I've come to present facts and knowledge as to why participating in our local government is just as important as voting in the federal election that comes every 4 years. We need to begin treating local government as the election that makes real change for us because most people are uneducated on the impact that local elections make both in the community and nationally. I will discuss how our votes within the local government carry more weight than in a federal election. I want to elaborate on the direct impact that local elections can have on our daily lives. So, as you can see, the local participation has been on a decline, but within these margins, our votes carry immense strength. As you can see in 2001 all the way to 2011, it's rapidly declined. And since then to 2025, it's declined even further. Let's delve into the topic. People are often overlook. Your vote carries so much power when being used in our local government. Kelsey Marie Pym, a writer at Nonprofit Vote, said, when it comes to turnout, local elections often see voter participations are half or even less than the presidential contests. What this means is that the number of voters is generally smaller than it when it comes to a local election participation. Further proving the weight our vote carries in our local government, giving the real power back to the constituents. Jan Brennan, an advocate for local government participation, stated in her article for the National Civic League that barriers include a lack of information on voting laws, not knowing where or how to register to vote, not having approved voter identification, or needing translation or other assistance to vote. These barriers affect the turnout rate in our community, and we are generally left with a smaller amount of voter turnout for these elections. Going further, how do you benefit from participating within local government? It leads to an immense amount of benefits. Changes within roadwork, budget, the school system, which is very important in Nevada, increased care and action within our community, health, housing, and the list goes on. As you can see in the diagram, public transit, sanitation, water quality, it's a lot of things that can be changed. Local elections are the primary source of what changes these things in our daily lives, and others can choose to decide for us if we do not take the opportunity. Eileen Fumagalli wrote a paper for Trinity Economics Papers stating that we demonstrate that higher electoral turnout is related to larger government expenditure, higher total revenues, more generous welfare, and a larger budget deficit. This statement highlights the benefits of being involved in local government. It's another example of how our daily lives rely on the decisions made within the community and how those decisions are made by the voters directly. In a blog post on yourlocalvoice.net, the author states, when people don't vote, the city just doesn't care as much. If more people showed up at the polls, we definitely get more money for schools and probably lower rent too. It goes to show that when we do not get involved in local government elections, we are missing out on the benefits that can be derived from this participation. This blog further demonstrates how non-participation leaves beneficial decisions to be made by others that may not have the people's best interest at hand. From decision making skipping through our fingertips, it's also important to remember how changes on a community level lead to changes at the federal government level. As you can see, federal, local, and state governments are intertwined in a triangular format. Our voices within local government have power to change policies at the federal level when we begin to use that authority. Participation in local elections trickles up to federal decisions that shape our democracy. In an article by Cambridge University Press and Assessment, the author states that the president has strategically employed federal funds to assist co-partisan mayoral candidates. The city of Lexington procured a $15 million federal grant shortly before a competitive mayoral election. This exemplifies how a local mayoral election within their town was able to trigger a huge financial decision. An article written for Patriot Voices Daily stated, whenever a small town mayor wins an election, the White House changes where it sends federal money. It's obvious that local elections decide everything that happens in Washington, even national security. The statement is simple and straight to the point. It gives a fresh look into what happens when we are able to locally participate in these elections. It wraps back to the fact that when we make these pressing changes in our local elections, it pushes our local authority onto the federal government. We take the power back of making democratic decisions back into our hands rather than handing it away just to anybody. We have a better chance at making those decisions for ourselves when we do this. And when we make these decisions for ourselves, we take that power back rather than giving away to just anybody. And finally, I urge you to go out and vote in our local elections to make our communities all together healthy and more functioning for us. Realistically, these decisions will dictate our future and how we as a society can improve. With turnout rates being so low, we can look around us and see what impact that has caused over time currently from the past within our own community here in Las Vegas and within UNLV. So go out and use your voices in our community. That is where the real change happens.